All right, onto one of the biggest hurdles that stops many YouTube creators, and that is imposter syndrome. First of all, what is imposter syndrome? It's the feeling of feeling like you are a fraud and that you'll be caught out one day, and it's a sense of not feeling worthy, credible, or qualified enough to share what you are talking about or want to talk about on your YouTube channel. An important thing I want to highlight is that we can't get rid of imposter syndrome or make it disappear. Whether we are on YouTube or we are talking with someone face to face, it's always going to be in us. But there are ways around it so that when you are creating content, you are feeling competent and confident. The subject of imposter syndrome is quite close to me. You can imagine starting with 0 subscribers, just like everyone else starting out, and posting videos feeling like what you're sharing isn't going to be taken seriously. And that's exactly how I felt despite having over 15 years of digital marketing experience, having started and run online businesses too. So even though I am quite experienced and skilled at that, I still feel imposter syndrome. If you're a female in a male dominant niche, you may feel like you aren't going to be taken seriously because of that gender difference. But what I feel is they actually probably need females in that niche. Let's take tech, for example, or the web development kind of space. There's actually not many females, and I'm all in for females going into tech and, you know, getting the same equal pay. So not to get too deep into it, but I just feel there is a difference in what you can share. You know, you can share from a female's perspective in that niche because there's that empty gap and that kind of blue ocean there already. For me, initially, when I talked about subjects such as Canva, I felt like that was a female dominant niche because it is quite artsy, and a lot of the templates I see are quite leaning more towards females, right? But I just shared what I knew. I didn't care so much about, oh yeah, this is a subject that only females can talk about, but more so I know a few tips and tricks about Canva. Let's now share that with the world. But despite the gender differences and what niche or space you are trying to dive into, you are unique. You are bringing something unique to the table. These could be stories and experiences and something that no one else has shared. That can't be copied, that can't be emulated. So know that, but we'll dive more into this subject in the Your Niche module. One quote that has really helped me along the way, and I'm sure this will help you too, is this from Derek Sivers. What's obvious to you is amazing to others. With someone with the skills, expertise, or knowledge in the field, some of the most basic stuff may feel like this is easy and everyone knows it. But in fact, when you started out in that field, you probably didn't know how to do it. So what can be quite basic and in this case obvious is going to be amazing for others because they are learning a new skill. Take this video for example, where I show users how to change the color of any image in Canva, something that I thought was quite basic and kind of common sense to know, but in fact, it's almost reached over 100,000 views. So don't underestimate even the most basic things that you know. On YouTube, you don't always have to feel like you have to be an expert at everything. You can take subscriber feedback and suggestions and then create videos around it because you may be curious yourself about this new idea, tip, or a new tool or software that you may want to then review and do some research on. And another take to this, if you feel like you have to be an expert to share videos on YouTube, is this: sharing your journey, documenting your journey, and then sharing your lessons along the way. So that way you don't feel like you are just pulling, you know, all these little tips and how-tos out of nowhere. The bottom line is you are diving into new territory, which is why you're feeling like an imposter. Everything feels new. But what's more important, and something you should constantly remind yourself of, is to trust the process. You are doing good things. You obviously deeply care about what you are doing and you're sharing it with the world. So you are good enough. You can start where you are today.